Lonely elderly attract any woman with these two magic words. Did you know that just two simple words can completely change the way people connect with you in your golden years? It might sound unbelievable, but when used sincerely, they can transform how you interact with others and reduce feelings of isolation. These words aren't magical, but they hold a certain power, especially when spoken with warmth and authenticity. In today's video, I'm going to break down how this straightforward phrase can help you create more meaningful connections, why it works so well for seniors experiencing loneliness, and most importantly, how to incorporate it into your daily interactions. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll have a practical tool that can help you rebuild your social circle. Before we begin, please support the channel by hitting that like button and subscribing. Your engagement helps me create more valuable content for our senior community and signals to the algorithm that this video is worth sharing with others who might benefit. Your support means the world to me and motivates me to continue providing insights that can genuinely improve your social well-being during retirement. Now, let's get started. Why most seniors struggle to spark attraction. One of the biggest mistakes elderly makes when talking to women is being overly accommodating or indecisive. It's understandable, most guys want to seem polite, easygoing, and agreeable. But here's the problem, too much flexibility makes you appear unsure of yourself. You've probably heard or maybe even said things like, "We can do whatever you want," or "I don't know, you decide." While this might seem like a good way to keep things smooth and drama-free, it actually has the opposite effect. It makes a woman feel like you lack confidence and direction, two things that are absolutely crucial for attraction. Women are naturally drawn to men who know what they want. So when you constantly defer to her or avoid making decisions, you're subconsciously signaling that you're not the leader she's instinctively looking for. The two words that change everything. So what's the secret? What's the simple phrase that instantly shifts how a woman perceives you? The answer is, "I want." It might seem too simple to be effective. But trust me, when used correctly, it communicates strength, decisiveness, and leadership. Women are naturally attracted to men who take charge, and saying, "I want," makes it clear that you know what you're doing. Here's why this works so well. It shows confidence. It eliminates uncertainty. It positions you as a leader. It makes your intentions clear. Now let's talk about how to use these words in real-life situations to get the best results. How to use "I want" to attract women. This isn't about just randomly throwing "I want" into every sentence. It's about using it with intention. Let's break down some specific situations where you can apply this technique effectively. 1. When asking a woman out. I used to think it was over for me. After my wife passed, I spent years sitting in silence. Just me, a recliner, and the sound of my own breath echoing through an empty house. It's strange how loneliness doesn't come crashing in all at once. It creeps. A forgotten cup of tea. An untouched dinner table. A birthday that passes with no one calling. You start believing maybe that's it. Maybe life already gave you all it had. And then I met her. Claire. I wasn't looking. I was just at the park one morning, feeding ducks, when she sat next to me. A warm smile. Kind eyes. Something stirred in me I hadn't felt in years, nervousness. Hope. The idea that maybe, just maybe, connection was still possible. But I almost blew it. See, when asking a woman out, most guys, especially us older folks, we tend to fumble. We try to be polite, too careful, unsure of ourselves. And I did exactly that. I mumbled something like, "Hey, if you want, we could maybe grab a coffee sometime." She smiled, but politely declined. I walked home kicking myself. And then I remembered something my grandson once told me. He said, "Grandpa, confidence isn't about being loud. It's about knowing what you want and saying it without apology." That night, I sat down and rehearsed 3 simple, magic words. The kind that shift the energy. The kind that show you're not just drifting through life anymore. I want to. That's it. I want to take you to dinner. I want to spend time with you. I want to hear more about your travels. Those 3 words, "I want to," changed everything. The next time I saw Claire, I looked her in the eye and said, "I want to take you out for dinner this Friday." She paused. then smiled. A different smile this time. One that said she saw me, not as a frail, lonely man, but as someone with presence. With heart. With courage. And she said yes. Now, listen, it's not about tricking someone. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about owning your truth. Your desire. Your willingness to connect without hiding behind fear or politeness. Because women, especially women who've also been through life, appreciate a man who leads with clarity. Who isn't afraid to say what he wants. It doesn't mean she'll always say yes, and that's okay. What matters is that you showed up. That you were real. That you didn't whisper into life, you spoke to it. So if you're out there, sitting in silence like I once was, remember this. You are not too old. You are not too late. And you are not invisible. The right words, spoken from the heart, can reignite a spark you thought had long burned out. Just start with 3 magic words. I want to. And watch the world begin to respond. You know, starting a conversation used to terrify me. Not because I didn't know how to talk, but because I forgot how to connect. After years of being alone, I felt like I had nothing left to offer. Conversations felt like walking a tightrope. Say too much, you sound desperate. Say too little, and you fade into the background. So most days, I just kept to myself. I'd smile at women I saw in the cafe, nod politely at someone in the grocery line, but I never really spoke. One day, I was at the community center, waiting for my chair yoga class. A woman sat down next to me. She had silver hair, bright eyes, and this quiet grace that pulled you in. I wanted to talk to her, but every line I rehearsed in my head sounded weak. I almost said, "Hey, I was wondering if maybe we could talk." But I caught myself. That wasn't me anymore. I remembered those 3 magic words, I want to. So instead, I turned to her, smiled, and said, I want to get to know you better. Let's talk. She blinked. Then she smiled back. And we talked for 30 minutes straight. About our kids. Our dogs. Our favorite TV shows. She even laughed at one of my corny jokes, and not the polite kind of laugh, but the real one that crinkles the corners of your eyes. And do you know what she said before we left? She said, I like how honest you are. Most men either try too hard or don't try at all. That moment stuck with me. Because here's the truth, a lot of us struggle to start conversations because we're afraid. Afraid of saying the wrong thing. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of looking foolish at our age. But that fear makes us talk in circles, like, hey, I was just wondering if maybe we could chat sometime. Sounds unsure. Sounds like you're already expecting her to say no. But when you say, I want to get to know you better, something shifts. You're no longer hiding. You're standing in your truth. Women respect that, not just because it's bold, but because it shows you're secure in who you are. You're not playing games. You're not performing. You're just being real. And that kind of honesty? That kind of presence? It's magnetic. So next time you feel that hesitation bubbling up in your chest, don't let it win. Remember those 3 little words. Say them clearly. Say them like you mean them. Because what you want does matter. You're not invisible. You're not some relic of the past. You're a man with stories, with depth, with desire, and that's exactly what many women are hoping to find. Just start with, I want to get to know you. And let the conversation take you somewhere you never expected. 3. When expressing your desires in a relationship. Once you're already seeing someone, this technique becomes even more powerful. A lot of guys fall into the habit of always letting their partner decide everything. While it's good to be considerate, constantly saying, whatever you want is fine, can actually make you seem weak. Here's a better way to phrase it, I want to spend more time with you this weekend. Let's plan something fun together. Now instead of sounding passive, you're showing initiative. This tells her that you value the relationship and that you're willing to take charge in making things happen. Confidence versus arrogance, the fine line now. Before you go overboard with this, I need to clarify something important. Confidence is not the same as arrogance. Saying "I want" should never sound like a demand. This isn't about being controlling or disrespectful, it's about expressing your intentions clearly while still being open to her input. For example, let's say you tell her, "I want us to go out for dinner tomorrow." If she responds with, "I can't tomorrow, I have plans," a confident and respectful response would be, "No problem. How about Saturday instead?" This keeps the conversation balanced. You're asserting what you want, but you're also being flexible and understanding. A woman will always appreciate a man who knows what he wants, but if you become rigid, demanding, or dismissive of her desires, you'll quickly come off as self-centered, and that's a major turn-off. The challenge: try this for 1 week. Now that you know the power of "I want," it's time to put it into action. Here's my challenge for you. For the next 7 days, I want you to use this phrase at least 5 times a day, whether it's at work, in casual conversations, or when talking to women. Start practicing this technique. And here's the best part, you don't even have to limit this to dating. You can use it in all areas of your life. Instead of saying, "I guess I'll go to the gym," say, "I want to hit the gym today." Instead of saying, "I might try that new restaurant," say, "I want to check out that new place for dinner." When you start saying "I want" with confidence, you'll notice an immediate shift in how people respond to you. They'll start seeing you as someone who is sure of himself, and that alone will make you more attractive. We've covered a lot today, but now it's up to you to put this into practice. Knowledge is useless without action, so start using "I want" in your daily life. Drop a comment below and tell me, how do you plan to use this phrase this week? Share an example of how you're going to apply it, and at the end of the week, come back and let me know what changed. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more game-changing insights. Let's keep growing together. See you in the next one.